Just some cheap shit from Aldi. Haven't done a video for a while. Got a new hat. Red light, white light. So I decided to do a video. I'm editing a load of shit at the moment, which is an excuse. And I wanted to talk about faith and having faith and what faith is. It's one I've been meaning to do for a while. And in my lifetime, I've had two pretty catastrophic times where I've hit like the bottom. One when I was like 27. It was the summer solstice. And I've never really spoke about it. I'll do it one of the days, but it was such a traumatic incident that it kind of fucked me for about a good 7 years. And but in that I lost myself, and in that I got glimpses of myself. And what got me through it was faith. Faith that if I had glimpses of myself for like 10 minutes a day, once a week, I could make that 15 minutes. I could make that half an hour. I could make that an hour. I could make it a day. And eventually, I could make it all the time. And that took a long, long time. And in that, it made me bulletproof. Um, it made me bulletproof to a certain extent. To an extent where I became um, never high, never low, just medium, steady. Never got caught in emotion. Never go with the waves. Just keeping it steady. And then the last 2 years, I had an array of shit hit me at the one time that I wasn't. You're never ready for it. It's never a good time, but the time comes when you need it, and I needed it, especially the last year. And in that time, everything. I mean, if you look at what I do for a job, I mean, people ask me what do you do? I said, well, fucking yeah, what do I do? And I suppose I'm a bit of a fixer. I suppose I'm a bit of a I liaise with people. I can have a foot in different camps. I can have a foot. I can mix with different types of people. I know a little about a lot, and I can talk to lots of different people and figure out what the issue is and get straight to the problem and have a solution on many different levels, on many different types of people. And the people I've been traveling with over the last few years are very, very different. Some are athletes, some are coaches, some are security, some are managers, some are promoters. Just a vast array of different types of people with different types of personality. And I always found people came to me to look for solutions, especially when people weren't getting on. Very different people don't always get on. Finding a solution, making everybody happy. I suppose I learned that skill working on doors, giving people a solution so they wouldn't get upset and they'd go away happy. Well, not happy, but we know the game. So the game is I'm standing on a door, you walk up, and like, sorry, not tonight. And you're with your board, you're looking great, you've dressed up, and this dickhead now has made a show you in front of his board. And that's not the way to do it because you're going to get someone's back up about that. So what I used to do was I used to have a clipboard. I'd walk up to the door, I'd have a little board, I'd make a decision. If I saw you, generally I would see you. So if there wasn't a queue and you walked up to me, I'd see you 15, 20 meters before you came to me. I've already made up my mind. Just by the way you walk, your mannerisms, how you're dressed, where you're from. And I've come to all that just from knowledge of dealing with different types of people. I'm not always right, but I have to have somewhere to start. So I know you're from the north side. I know you're a scumbag. I know you're from the south side. I know you're a posh cunt. I know those things by the way you dress, the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you carry yourself. It's just mannerisms that people have. But I'm willing to change my mind when you get to the door. And that was just asking any question for a response. And if I didn't like you, I'd have a clipboard. And on the clipboard, I would say, what's your name? Some guy just come up, he's with his girl, what's your name, buddy? And I'd say, my name? Yeah, you on the list for tonight? And they were like, there's a list for tonight? Yeah, it's a private function. I didn't know that. Yeah. So listen, there's a great place around the corner. What you like to dance, you like to drink, you like this. Great place around the corner. Just tell him I sent you up. Go up there, everyone's happy. He didn't get embarrassed. He knew he wasn't going to let in. He was chancing it anyway. But as it was, we all go away happy. We played the game. And I found that I always had solutions for everybody else. But in that, it's kind of like the painter's house is always needs painting, right? You don't look after yourself. And rule number one is look after yourself. Because if you can't look after yourself, put your own fucking lifeguard on for your own fucking life vest on first, then look after everybody else. You gotta look after yourself. Otherwise, shit's gonna be pear shaped when it goes pear shaped. And it will go pear shaped. Fucking trust me on that one. An example of that would have been when I got here first, I ran a nightclub. I was doing everything I could just to keep this place afloat. And I ended up managing a nightclub. I met this guy, Mark Avery, and the manager he had was like a cocaine addict, and the place was falling apart. And I'd worked on doors. I'd never managed the club, but I'd managed doors. But the only difference is getting stock and doing the money. So it's a small place. It's hard to find people with decent skills here. So I knew he'd ask me. So he asked me, and I kind of liked him, but I didn't like him. And well, I suppose I did like him because I gave him some home truths one time, and I'd I'd asked to see him because I just wanted to. Sometimes you need to talk to people just to say what you see, because everyone thinks they're getting away with everything all the time. Even me, I used to do that. But what this guy was he wasn't a lawyer. He was a half truther. So I sat him down. I said, "There's a few things I want to say to you, Mark." And this is my man. He's the owner of the club and I'm the manager. I said, "Look, I don't. You're probably going to sack me after this, but I need to tell you just out of love." And I said, "You're the teller of half truths." And he says, "What do you mean, mate? You calling me a liar?" And I was like, "No, no, you half tell the truth. You don't tell the full truth. You have to tell the truth," which is kind of even worse. The second one was he had this son who was a kid, and he was like, at this stage he was 14, but the year before he was 13, and he was a kid. He was going from a boy to adolescence. And when he was a boy, because he was young, he used to bring him into the nightclub. He'd DJ a little bit at 7 o'clock, And then the following year, he brings over his kid with his mates, and Mark brings over his buddies. And they're all in the club. I open up the club for them. They're all drinking at the bar. His kid's there with all his fucking mates, and he's like, calls him over. "Why don't you play some music for your mates?" And he goes, "Dad, I don't do that anymore." And I said to him, "Your son is embarrassed by you." And the reason why I said that was because he hadn't seen the change in his kid over the year. He thought he was still into DJing. He wasn't. He was into fucking chasing girls and playing football. But he was too busy at the bar drinking boomers that he didn't see that, and he embarrassed his kid. And I remember saying to my mother, I said this to the guy, and she said, "What did he say?" And I said, "What could he say? It was the truth." And when you're looking at the truth, you can't argue with it because someone's copped it on that you think you're getting away with it all the fucking time, and someone's seen you for who you are. And I don't know, it's happened to me. I'm sure it's happened to you. Someone just calls you on your bullshit. I was listening to Jordan Peterson, and he was saying in 25 years of clinical work, he's never met one person that got away with anything. Not one person that got away with anything. He always paid a piper. And for me, in my personal life, I started doing what I was doing in my professional life, which was keeping everybody happy. Juggling balls, the spinning discs, all going, all going. You're happy, you're happy, you're happy, you're happy. And no one was fucking happy because I wasn't being truthful with people. And when it all came down and shit went pear-shaped and everyone just kind of like, something that happens with you when you're when you're when you're like low in emotion and in a bad spot is people get the fuck away from you. You know, no one approaches you. You hide away, head down, and you just don't attract anything good. You know, and you just keep attracting more shit. The shit sees the shit. You know, it just fucking like attracts like. And in that time, I had faith. In that time, I had faith that if I got into a routine, if I looked at what I was doing wrong, if I changed, if I really fucking changed, if I really did the work, if I was really willing to do the work, and I had faith in what I believed and what I knew, things would come back around for me. The problem with that one is, the first time it happened to me was just relying on me. But the second time it happened to me, there was more people involved, which is a lot more fucking moving parts. You know, I can look after myself, but have I got faith that everything else will come at the same time with everybody else? And that was a biggie. Because you can end up hoping. You know, and hope's a fucking dangerous thing, you know? Hopes and dreams. And you never get fuck all. Because you just hope. This year will be my year. Next year will be my year. And you're not doing anything to chase it. You're saying next year because you're not doing the fucking work. It's like there's a move. There's a move in everything. Everything has a move. Chess has a move. There's a move, the critical move. And then when that goes, you know it's done. And you either miss it or you're fucking on it. There's a wave that comes and you know that's the fucking wave. And you're either on it or you're going to miss it. When I was racing, there's a move that goes in the race. And if you either go with it or you don't go with it. And sometimes you don't want to go with it because you haven't the legs, but you had the fucking legs. You just didn't want to be bothered doing the fucking work and the effort that it would take in order to stick with it. This is the move. And you got to recognize that. I've never really had faith in anything else in life. Like, I've never had faith in religion. Even when I was racing, I didn't have faith that I was going to be a god, you know. Hoped I would be. Did the work. I just knew I wasn't good enough. But you gotta let that run out. Because at the end of the day, you gotta be able to look at yourself in the mirror and say, fuck, I gave it my best shot. Or you can be one of those ones that never really sleeps well with themselves, or fill your life full of shit and stuff and fake teeth, and, you know, hopefully no one recognises that you're trying to get away with shit. You kind of might ask yourself, where does faith come from? I don't know. I think you just know things. I think experience is. I think experience of life is invaluable, and I've experienced a lot. I have 3 things left to do. That is all. Just 3 things. But in those 3 things, everything else is going to be exceptional. Because in order to get those 3 things, I need to fucking do the work in every other part of my life. And when I have those 3 things accomplished, I mean, I'm done. You know? I'm on that back straight of life. I'm coming up, I'm like Eamon Coughlin, kicking hard for that fucking finish with a big win at the end. Instead of, it's fight week, let's all switch off. No, fucking switch the fuck on. Yeah, so if you're struggling with decisions, if you're struggling with life, if you're waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning and you can't make your fucking mind up about shit, have some fucking faith. The rest is just ephemeral shit. The rest is just other people's opinions. The rest is what you think other people will think about you. The rest is noise. At the end of the day, you sleep with yourself, you park the bus on your own. But along the way, great things will happen. And on a positive note, Life is beautiful. In it has lots of stories. In it has lots of drama. In it has lots of fantastic times. In it has lots of ups and downs. But as a good friend of mine, White Roger, said, in the shit is where the lesson is, but it's very hard to see it when you're in it. And the Marines say it's good to cover yourself in shit because shit washes off. And that's the truth. But you got to have a little bit of faith. Faith in yourself. Faith that you know yourself. Faith that you're going to do the work and come out the other side and be bulletproof from it. And that is it. That is it. So I've a busy couple of weeks ahead. I've a busy life ahead. I've a busy few months. I've a busy year. I'm just fucking busy because I don't have that fucking time to waste no more. Don't have the time to waste, so I'm cramming it all in. Doubling down, getting it done, wearing cool hats, little bit of red light, So, yeah, I'm gonna push on. Keep the faith. We are all one. Namaste. Hare Krishna.